What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lakers Nation news feed. My name is Trevor Lane, senior writer for LakersNation.com. You can check me out on Twitter at Trevor_Lane. So I gotta laugh at this point. Last night, I recorded a news feed. We broke down everything that happened in the Summer League. We talked about how the Lakers were apparently no longer interested in trading for Kawhi Leonard. We talked a little bit about Lonzo Ball's injury, and I wrapped things up thinking, well, now we're going to head into the slow part of the season. For the next couple of months before training camp starts, we're going to be kind of in the NBA's downtime, which is getting smaller and smaller, it seems like, every year. And right when I thought it was okay to exhale, boom, Shams Charania of Yahoo breaks that the Spurs and Toronto Raptors are on the verge of completing a deal. And lo and behold, they did get it done in the middle of the night. The story breaks that the Spurs are sending Kawhi Leonard up north to Toronto in exchange for DeMar DeRozan. Now, there are some other pieces in the deal, and let's break that down real quick. You've got Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green, the shooting guard, coming from the Spurs and heading up north, going to Toronto in exchange for DeRozan, Jakob Poeltl, and a top 20 protected first. So the Spurs will get that first rounder, assuming Toronto is in the top 1/3 of the league, which they almost certainly will be in the East. They still have a very strong lineup. You throw in Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard to a team that already has Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka, Jonas Valanciunas, Norman Powell, OG Anunoby. They've got some solid pieces there. The Raptors could very well make a push to the top of the Eastern Conference. And with LeBron gone, now he's in Los Angeles, the Raptors could very well see their first NBA Finals in their history. Of course, the Boston Celtics and Philadelphia 76ers will have something to say about that. But still, interesting move for the Raptors. Dangerous in a way, because Kawhi Leonard is going to be a free agent next summer, and we're going to talk more about that in just a moment. Now, from the Spurs side of things, a little bit surprising. Most teams, when they trade a proven star like Kawhi Leonard, even one that's been injured, they're looking for rebuilding pieces. They're looking for young players. They're looking for guys that they can build their next group from. And they didn't really get that. They got DeRozan, who's an all-star. They got Poeltl, who is good, but not great. He's not really a foundational piece or anything. And then they got a future first that promises to be a late first-round pick. And if not, it's going to convert to 2 second-round picks if somehow the Raptors wind up hanging on to it, which, again, is very unlikely that happens. So as far as the Spurs haul goes, this is definitely a win-now move. And this is a sign that Greg Popovich does not want to rebuild. So DeRozan gives them a piece that can help them in the here and now and probably keep the Spurs relevant in the Western Conference. Is it enough to really push them into contention? I don't think so. DeRozan is not as good as a fully healthy Kawhi Leonard. But again, Kawhi Leonard is going to be a free agent next summer, so that's a big risk on their part. Now, looking at some of the contracts too, DeRozan actually is going to make $28 million this season, $28 million the following season, and then he has a team option for $28 million the season after that. I'm sorry, a player option for the season after that. So you could be looking at paying DeMar DeRozan almost $28 million per season for the next 3 years, which isn't great, but it's not terrible either. DeRozan was indeed an all-star and well-deserving, so he can do that. As far as Poeltl goes, he has a option as well. He's got coming up, he's going to make $3 million this next season. Then he has a team option for $3.7 million, almost $3.8 million. And then he has a qualifying offer the following season in 2020, 2021. So they'll have Poeltl for at least 2 seasons before they have to pay him when he hits restricted or assumingly restricted free agency if they give him a qualifying offer. So for the Spurs, they got a few pieces that they can count on being around in exchange for Danny Green, who's expiring, and Kawhi Leonard, who is essentially an expiring contract. Or at least he has a player option that he is almost certainly not going to exercise. Toronto is, again, taking that risk that they're going to make the leap this year. Maybe the Paul George situation emboldened them. I mean, we saw Oklahoma City trade for Paul George, even though he said he wasn't going to stay and he was going to go sign with the Lakers, and it worked out. They were able to bring him back. So I'm sure Toronto is hoping they can do the same thing, that if they can rule the Eastern Conference with Kawhi, that maybe he'll stick around. But so far, the real winner in this trade, ironically enough, is the Lakers. Because the Lakers are still in prime position to land Kawhi Leonard next summer. And before I get into why, those of you listening, if you're listening on iTunes, hit me up on Twitter and let me know who you think won the trade. This is the Spurs or the Raptors? If you're listening on YouTube, go ahead and reply in the comments. We're getting a ton of listeners on YouTube, which is awesome. Reply in the comments. Who won the trade? San Antonio or Toronto? But let's get back to your Lakers. Why did they actually win this? Well, Zach Lowe from ESPN, in his piece breaking down the trade, said, Leonard has made it clear he wants no part of Toronto. Adrian Wojnarowski said Leonard has made it clear he wants to sign, or he plans to sign, with the Lakers in free agency. Chris Haynes backed up what Lowe said. In fact, Chris Haynes even said it first. Leonard has no desire to play in Toronto. It's kind of crazy because DeMar DeRozan, for a little while, had to be thinking, oh my gosh, LeBron finally left the East. We're going to make it. We're going to go all the way to the finals. And then, he's traded to the West. That now has LeBron and the Warriors and the Houston Rockets and all these stars. For DeMar DeRozan, he had to be dreaming of playing in his first NBA Finals, and now that dream's somewhat shattered. And for Kawhi Leonard, the thought was that he was going home to Los Angeles. Instead, he is going to a place that is 2,500 miles away, and the weather couldn't be any different. Now, Toronto is a beautiful city, don't get me wrong, but it is so different compared to Los Angeles. If he has his heart set on Los Angeles, and what we're hearing is that he still does, this is a great sign for the Lakers. The Lakers ultimately decided, and we talked about this on the show last night, ultimately decided to not part with assets in order to land Kawhi Leonard right now. Now, yes, that's a risk. We saw this whole situation backfire on them last season with Paul George, but you know what? Kawhi Leonard is not Paul George. Different guy, does not make this the wrong move. So now the Lakers get to really see what they've got, because they've got Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart. They've got these young players that are improving. They're getting better every season, and now they get the LeBron effect. Now you get to find out how good of a player LeBron can make his teammates. Brandon Ingram is one that I'm especially excited about, and that's certainly a guy the Spurs would have wanted in any Kawhi Leonard trade. So now the Lakers get to keep all of their assets and potentially land Kawhi Leonard as a free agent next summer, which means they wouldn't have to part with anybody. They can keep all their young guys, plus LeBron, and then add Kawhi Leonard to that mix. That is the home run swing, and that's what the Lakers are doing right now. They're trying to hit it out of the park. Yes, adding Kawhi now and putting him with LeBron probably means more wins this season, but ultimately keeping Brandon Ingram, keeping Lonzo Ball, keeping Kyle Kuzma, keeping all of their young talent, keeping their picks, all of that, and then adding Kawhi, that's the move that's going to really push them to the upper echelon of in the West, and perhaps put them on even footing with the Golden State Warriors. Hey, we can dream, right? So this isn't time to be disappointed that the Lakers didn't get Kawhi Leonard. This isn't time to hang our heads, because they have a plan in place, and with LeBron in and locked in for 3 years plus an option for a 4th year, they know they can afford to be patient, and they are doing it. They are waiting for the right move and not just panicking and making any move. And that is the flexibility that LeBron coming in now has brought. This also isn't the Paul George situation, because the summer of 2019 is not the summer of 2018. This summer, Paul George and LeBron James were clearly the top 2 free agents on the market. And there wasn't much after that. There was a big drop off in talent after that. 2019 is much deeper. Even if Kawhi Leonard decides, hey, you know what? I suddenly decided I love Toronto. I'm going to stay here. I want to be a Raptor forever. That's fine. The Lakers will have other options out there. Guys like Klay Thompson, guys like Jimmy Butler, Kyrie Irving will be out there. How about that? Imagine Kyrie Irving reuniting with LeBron James. There's other pieces that are going to be on the market for them to go after. So maintaining that cap flexibility, keeping their young pieces, and imagine how attractive the LA market is now. The Lakers have LeBron. They've got young talent. They're going to be a good team. Plus then all the other things, Hollywood and the weather, all of that starts to matter now that the basketball side of things is coming together for the Lakers. So they have reason to feel confident that they are going to get a max level free agent in 2019 to go along with LeBron, plus a budding Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball and Kyle Kuzma and all these other pieces that could eventually push them towards another championship. So again, no, the Lakers didn't land Kawhi Leonard, but this is a good day because Kawhi clearly does not want to be a Toronto Raptor. Now, it's going to be on Kawhi to follow through with his threat. He told the Raptors he does not want to be there. He won't stay. He told every non-Los Angeles team that. He's put out there that he wants no part of Toronto. The key will be for him to actually follow through and not do what Paul George did and then stay. Instead, he's got to follow through on his threat and go ahead and leave the Raptors. And really, that's not just for him, but that's important for free agents in the future too. If guys want to try to force their way out that have 1 year left on their deal, if Kawhi stays too, then teams are just going to feel that much better about trading for them, thinking that they can convince people to stay. We already saw Paul George do it. Kawhi Leonard, if he does it too, that's taking away some leverage from the players. So a lot's going to be riding on what Kawhi Leonard does next summer, and it's certainly going to be a story worth following. For right now, the Lakers are happy moving forward with what they've got, and then they'll add that next piece in a year. Crazy NBA summer. It just keeps getting crazier. I'm afraid to say we can exhale now because who knows what's going to happen next. But Kawhi Leonard is a Toronto Raptor, which somehow, some way is actually a good thing for the Los Angeles Lakers. That's going to wrap things up for now. Again, hit me up. Shoot me a tweet. You can find me at Trevor_Lane on Twitter. Hit me up on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and respond in the comments. Did the Lakers make the right move here? I think they did. I think that them waiting was the correct decision. Being patient was correct despite what happened with Paul George. If you think I'm wrong, cool. Hit me up. Tell me why. All right, guys, that's it. Again, find me on Twitter at Trevor_Lane and make sure you go to LakersNation.com for all the latest. See ya.